Thor goes fishing. The fire crackled in the hearth, a warm shield against the winter's icy assault. Food and ale had been placed on a small table beside the mountain of a man standing in front of the hearth, holding his numbed hands to the heat, rubbing them together to get circulation flowing again. His red beard was long and wild. His travel clothes looked well worn, but were exceptional of quality. "Do you require anything else?" the homeowner asked. I looked at him. He was a strongly built man, strong from working the fields and fighting when called upon. His wife was busy combing out wool, getting it ready to be spun. The children had peeked down from their loft sleeping area when I entered, but were quickly scolded and sent back to their slumbering. "No, I don't. Thank you for your hospitality," I replied as I picked up the cup of ale. "It's not often we get men of your stature out this way, especially when the snows are blowing this hard," said the man sitting on a stool beside the hearth. "My travels are wide and take me to strange lands at odd times," I replied, gulping down the ale. It was passable. "I hope I am not too much of a disruption to you and your family." "Of course not. We are always glad to welcome visitors to our hearth," the man said, shooting a glance towards his wife. She combed out the wool with extra vigor as she shot him a look back. "Where is it you are headed?" he asked. "Back home. I was sent on a quest to retrieve a kettle for my father and his friends. They are expecting me. But I required some rest before finishing my last leg of my journey. A kettle. Surely a man such as you does not need to fetch a kettle. This is a task far below you," the man said, looking at me queerly. "It is a big kettle," I replied. It would have to be a kettle of one of the giants to make you the retriever." "It is," I replied, leaning in while chewing on a leg of lamb. "Would you like to hear the story how I came to possess the kettle?" "Stories and falsehoods of a wandering madman," muttered the wife. "It's not polite to spin such tales to courteous hosts." "It is a tale. That is true. But it is as true as you and him," I said, "and I do not like to be called a liar." "Tell your tale. Do not listen to her," the man said as he gave a sour look to his wife. "Very well. Here is my tale. Ager and Rand invited my father and family to their castle under the sea for a banquet. The only condition was we had to bring a kettle to brew the ale. It had to be big enough for all of us. We all thought long and hard and came up thinking only Hymir had such a kettle." "Wait, Ager and Rand, castle under the sea? You are telling tall tales," the man interrupted. "It is all true. Now stop being rude and let me continue. I traveled to Jotunheim, teeth bearer and tooth grinder pulling my cart there. You surely heard the rumble and clatter of my cart in the sky. When I arrived at Hymir's house, he was not very pleased to see me. He was even less pleased when I asked for food and drink. He had a servant slaughter 3 bulls and cook them right away. I was not feeling very hungry, so I only ate 2 bulls and only drank 4 barrels of ale. Hymir became very angry and demanded I go fishing with him the next day to replace all the food I had eaten." "Humph," the housewife snorted. I ignored her. The next morning I woke up to see Hymir waiting outside. He told me I was responsible for getting bait for our fishing trip. So when I took the head of the largest bull in his pasture, he became even more cross. As well as I would imagine, the man said. We climbed into Hymir's boat and rowed out a good distance. Hymir dropped his line into the water and hooked 2 whales. "I am the finest fisherman in the land. Try to top this catch, Thunderer." Hymir smirked at me. Without a word, I started rowing far out to sea, further than Hymir had ever dared to himself. He paled with fright as the land faded away. "Stop rowing. We are too far out. The Midgard serpent lies in these waters," Hymir cried as he pulled my arm to stop me from rowing. Giving him an angry look, I hooked the bull's head and cast it deep into the deep sea. The waters calmed as my bait sank deeper. A time passed when I was almost pulled from the boat when something struck the bait and I started to fight. I braced my feet on the deck of the boat and began to reel in my line. The water frothed and boiled as the head of the Midgard serpent rose from the briny depths, venom dripping from the jaws that still had the hook lodged in them. I pulled harder to bring my quarry to me. Suddenly, my feet broke through the deck boards and water rushed into the boat. I planted my feet on the ocean floor, reaching for Mjolnir, my hammer. I was ready to end the life of my eternal foe when I heard Hymir scream and with a knife cut my line and letting my prey escape. Enraged, I took up Hymir by his neck and struck him in between the eyes with my hammer. I rowed back to land, retrieved the kettle, and with the 2 whales over my shoulders, started my journey back home. Though a housewife had stopped her spinning, the man looked at me with an odd look. "Are you Thor?" "Don't be stupid," spat his wife. "He's just a man, a terrible liar of a man, spinning ridiculous stories, trying to confuse us good folk." "Quiet, woman. You shouldn't speak such vile words in front of a guest, especially Thor himself. Please, my lord, forgive her," the man said in a humble tone. "Though she may have a hot tongue, she is right to question my story, even though it is accurate. Yes, I am Thor, son of Odin, thunderer and bane of giants. I must take my leave now. I am rested and my hunger is sated. My thanks and blessings to you and your good house." As I walked out the door of the humble home, I could hear a great tumult begin inside. I smiled as I climbed onto the seat of my cart. Teeth Bear and Teeth Grinder pawed at the ground impatiently, Hymir's kettle and 2 whales secured in the back. With a shout and a whistle, my cart lurched forward and we traveled home to Asgard. That is a short story, kind of my interpretation of a story that went back to the Eddas, the stories of the Norse mythology. One of my favorite stories of part of that mythology. This is sorry, I'm kind of tongue-tied right now. This is Dispatches from Shedquarters. I'm your host, Mike Lutz. Jason couldn't make it today. There was he got pulled away to do a special assignment at work, so he really regrets not being able to make it today, and I think he should be back next week. So we're just going to kind of wing it right here because we kind of had a plan as what we wanted to do for today's show, and because of his work commitments, we just kind of have to push that off a little bit until the next time we're both together. I hope you can tell the sound quality might be a little bit better than what the first few shows have been like. I am now in my underground bunker and I have an actual mixing board. So I've got this hooked up. I hope it does the job and making the quality of the show a little bit better. And I'm not sure how much of a show that I got planned. I'm just gonna the story that I read is available at theworldofmyth.com. It's an online magazine that my friend David K. Montoya owns, and my other friend Stephanie Barty is the editor-in-chief now. I used to be the managing editor for that. That was a year ago. I think this story is about a year and a half old, and it was fun writing that story. It's my interpretation, and I think the reason it came about is because we were short a couple stories, and Dave asked me to write a story, and I was kind of at a loss. So I did my best, and like I said, I took the story and I put a little spin on it. So I said it was just something I wanted to try. News and excitement in my life. Nothing really. They said we did have a ceremony for my uncle who had recently passed away from cancer. He was cremated, so he was interred at out at the family plot out near Merlin, Ontario. It was good to see. Again, it's always good to see my relatives, but as of late, it's been at funerals, and that's getting a little heavy, and it's just, I don't know. It's just getting a little much. We're to that point where age-wise, where people are starting to start not well. It's a little depressing, but it's something that's part of life, and I have to work through it. With that part, the health scares that have been going on in my family has pushed me to go to find a new family doctor, and I did. It was my wife had found her first, found him first, and I said we weren't sure if he was taking on new patients, so I put an application in, hoping that I could get in to see this guy, which I did, and it kind of surprised me because finding a general practitioner and a family doctor in this area is getting much harder. I don't know why that is. It's just one of those things. So I had my consultation with Dr. Austin, and it was enlightening. There was a lot of things that I have to work on with my health to enhance the quality of my life. And right now, the medications that he's put me on is pushing me in that direction. I said I'm a type 2 diabetic. I'm classified obese, and it's not easy. And with the meds that he's put me on, I said I've gotten my blood sugar under control. It's down to single digit on my glucose meter, which is fantastic for me. I can't remember the last time that happened. One of the awesome side effects of the medication is that I've lost weight, and as of yesterday, I said I weighed myself, or the day before, I weighed myself at on a scale at my dad's house, and I was 296 pounds. I cannot honestly remember the last time I did not weigh 300. Like, I didn't. I've always been heavy, and it's been decades, easily decades, where I've been 300 pounds. At the heaviest, said I was 370 pounds at my absolute heaviest, and that was not too long ago. It was at that point I kind of decided it was my health, and I had to do something. So it wasn't exactly a good plan, and they said I was doing things. I was trying to watch my eating, trying to exercise more, and like I said, I've had more misses than hits when it came to working on my health and losing the weight. But in that process of all that, I did end up losing weight. I did a couple very dumb diets to work on that to help me along. It was called the velocity diet, and said it's a very dumb exercise. It is basically you drink protein shakes. You drink 4 protein shakes a day. Excuse me. Four protein shakes a day for basically 4 weeks. And I'm trying to remember the entire details of it. It is just such a dumb diet. You get one solid meal at the end of the week, and that's to try to replace some of the carbs and some of the things that you're missing just from consuming nothing but protein shakes. I lost weight on it, and the problem is you lose that weight suddenly, and it comes back twice as fast. Now, there's a concept that I had heard. It's called the weight set point, and I have to believe in it because I watched myself. I monitored myself when I was doing these diets, and the first time I did it, I said I went from 370 to 350, and I sat at 350 for quite a while, and then I started to lose a little bit again. I did another one of these velocity diets, and I went from 340, and I got to 320, and I hovered at 320 for quite a while. And then I started to work out, and I'm sure getting older and not working out as hard as I had is a contributing factor to me losing some of the weight. So I went from 320 to 315. Everything is very spread out and incremental, and I was stuck at 315 for quite a while, and then recently I lost 7 pounds. So I'm looking at the scale, and I'm just like, this is getting close, and it's kind of doable. And then they said the health scare and the problems with my mom and dad kicked in, and that basically turned into stress and anxiety and not eating because of that, and I ended up losing the rest of that weight, and that pushed me to 305. So when I was at 305, I'm going, wow, this is the lightest I've been since in decades. And I seem to stall there. I don't know why I wasn't losing. It's probably stress related, everything else going on. It was frustrating to lose some of the weight, then bounce it back on. I still am frustrated, and because I think I should be losing weight faster, but I think there's also a mitigating factor of my genetics, and like I said, with the diabetes and everything else, it slows me down. Now, I think it was in July. July, I found out that I was accepted by my new doctor, and that I had to wait until September for a consultation. In the meantime, I said I got a staph infection in my elbow. So I went to a teleclinic and I got that taken care of. And while I was there, they did some blood work. Then they called me back and they said, yeah, we want to put you on metformin for your diabetes. And they asked me if I had a family doctor. I said, I do, but I haven't gone yet. And the teledoctors went on, okay, we're going to put you on metformin until you can get to your family doctor. That way you can start a regime and you can stick with it and you can go there and say, listen, this is what I've started and we're going to go from there. The metformin, it was literally a shock to my system. And there's more than a few times where I quit taking it because I did not like the way it made me feel, which was dumb because it was healing me. And I just didn't, I didn't understand the process. And they were just saying, you got to take this and it'll help you. But I just didn't like the way it made me feel. So I kind of was very slack in the way I was taking that. That probably set me back quite a bit because just going on and off the metformin, it didn't give it the opportunity to work as well as it could have. And it is now because I'm very, very disciplined in taking my medications now. And I think, like I said, there's a quote from Jordan Peterson. I think one of his things is like, take your meds. Don't think about it. Just take your meds. So I said, I've taken those words of advice to heart, and I'm taking my meds and I'm feeling a lot better. I think I've gotten over the rough spot of what the meds are doing, and now they're doing the good work. So I think I've got two meds for diabetes, and another one for blood pressure. That's just kind of a preventative one. Like I said, there was really nothing wrong with my blood pressure the day that I went in, but I think he just looked at it and goes, "Okay, we're gonna try this and see where that takes you." All right, okay. And then what's another one? 2 diabetes, blood pressure, something for kidneys, just to support kidneys while all this is going on. So I got a handful of new drugs I'm taking, and it seems to be moving in the right direction. Like I said, I have another appointment coming up soon. We're going to go over the blood work that I did, see if things are moving in the right direction. There's other things I want to talk to him about that I want to work on. And he's, like I said, Dr. Austin is, I like him because he actually is listening to some of my concerns. Like his number one concern right now is to drive down my diabetes and get some weight off of me. And I'm working in that direction. It seems to be working well. But like I said, there's other things I would like for him to look at with me, and then we're going to go from there. What else is going on? Oh, yeah, I do have, like I said, that wrestling show that I'm involved in. Let me just pull up the old iPad here, get the information for everybody. Yeah, that's Okay, yeah. We said the best part about being out of the shed and in the bunker is I have a much more stable Wi-Fi connection, which will speed up information searches. So let me just do this. Yeah. So all right. No, that's not it. This is terrible. Okay, here it is. All right. GWN Championship Sports presents GWN Live Pro Wrestling Saturday, November 2nd. Bell time is 7:30. The event is held at the United Steelworkers Centers, is 1031 Barton Street East, Hamilton, Ontario. There's a Facebook event. Just go to that. Ticket information. Where's that? Okay. Does not say. Just go to the event page on Facebook. The ticket prices are $15 for a single or a 4-pack for $50. There is ticket outlets. Where are you? Ticket outlets. All right. Tickets will be available at Dwayne's Barbershop, Adams Air Systems, 229 Barton Street, Hamilton, and available at the door. I believe it's limited seating, so if you are in Hamilton on November 2nd and you want to take in the show, you have to get tickets fast, because my understanding is it's a smaller venue, so it's going to be really intimate and like fewer seats. So get your tickets early, and we'll hope to see you out there. I'm looking forward to that show just because, well, I love wrestling, and it was sad for me when it came down that we were not going to be, when GWN first closed its doors. I was like, this is like, it was one of the spots where I really got to shine, where I got to hone my craft. And it was one of the places that it was a special place for wrestling for me, because it was such an odd, unique place where older guys got to express their craft, and it was taken away too soon. And I'm very happy to see this coming back. I really hope that whoever's the powers that be decide that this is worthwhile and they want to keep it going. I'm really looking forward to it. I really do hope that they decide that it's viable and they want to keep it going. That being said, if this is a one-off, I guess I'll have to be happy with how things were, and I'm hoping it's not. I'm just like knock on wood that it takes off, and the people that did come watch GWN back in the day come back and support it and show it the love that they showed us back then, because we loved performing for the people, and we just want to do our style of wrestling. It's a perfect time, really, and I hope it takes off. Well, yeah, I'm kind of rambling right now. Thank you again for stopping by, listening. I hope I hope this new setup works well for everybody. I hope it sounds better than us sitting in the steel shed being bombarded by acorns and thunderstorms. I hope this sounds better for everybody. I'm really enjoying podcasting again. I know when Jason is able to get here, we have some ideas. Sorry, Dylan, we will get your topic when Jason's here. Like, I know we've been promising this for a couple weeks now, but we will get to your topic. We just wanted to talk about it when we were both here. And I know Jason has some ideas that he wants to do for the show. So hang in there. We will we'll do our best for you. Yeah. So this has been Mike Lutz, and you've been listening to Dispatches from Shedquarters.